What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're looking at more positive things to change, the mood around. So let's get it started. Okay, so yesterday's video, I think it was yesterday that we posted the Jim Caldwell video. It's either yesterday or 2 days ago. It's definitely opened a lot of things, okay? Lions community seems to be super split on a lot of things, whether it's Matt Patricia being the right guy, Stafford being the right guy. I mean, this one's kind of weird. I think Stafford's kind of clearly the right guy. I don't know how you can argue that, but some people try to. Don't get me wrong. Jim Caldwell, it's pretty split. But it did open a lot of attention, and a lot of people are talking about it now. I mean, even Gridiron Blitz talked about it, and shout out to him for giving me a shout out. So you see how I did that. But in this video, we're going to get back to the positives because, that's all cool. And I just want to say that if I disagreed with you or you disagreed with me the whole time, maybe I came back at you and I said something. It's all in good fun. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone. I know you're not trying to disrespect me. It's all fun, okay? So if you want to comment on that video, if you have your own thoughts, that's all good. This is what it is. It's sports talk. That's how it should be. And just wanted to leave that out there. So in this video, we're going to be looking at, I came up with 4 reasons the Lions could actually have a turnaround in 2020. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, man, how many times are you going to make this video? And I was like, you know what? I made this last year. I thought this year was going to be big. But knowing what we know, knowing the importance of this year for Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn as a part of the Detroit Lions staff, I think this is a really good time to make this video, and I think it's a really necessary video to make. So let's start this thing off at number 4, and I decided to put it, because this was originally going to be top 3, but I put this one in there because I think this one's kind of obvious, and that is what their assets are. So what I mean by that is this offseason they're going to have a top 3 pick, which throughout the round is going to be a high pick. They also have a lot of money to spend. And one thing that I would say about that top 3 pick is that the Detroit Lions are not only going to benefit from that in the first round, but also the next rounds. I mean, you think about it, a second round pick that's top 3 is basically it's almost a first round pick. Almost. I mean, that's really good. So I think they're really going to benefit from that, and they should, right? They know they need to win. I think they're going to spend a lot of the money that they do have, which is a good thing. They do have money for next season, and obviously we spent a lot of money on a lot of players last season. So if you could add to that, get some veteran guys that are proven, you don't necessarily have to wait for those young rookies to turn in what you're hoping they can be. And I think that's why that's super important. Obviously, the money is great, and the top 3 picks should be awesome. And I think there's a potential for certain players to fall to us. I was thinking about this, and I really do think there's a potential that Chase Young does fall to us. Now, does everybody want him? No. Again, it's all good if you don't want him. It's cool if you want him. But I do think there's a potential that he definitely does fall to us. I was really thinking, I think the Redskins really could take an offensive lineman here, and they really need an offensive lineman. Now, one thing I was looking at was, they'll probably try to trade down. But if they can't trade down because they're maybe asking for a lot, because, you're sitting at number 2, you're probably going to ask for a lot. And really, who's trying to trade up there unless the team needs an edge? And if they do, again, they might need a lot. So if they don't trade down, they may just take an offensive lineman where they sit, the best one available, and then obviously Chase Young could fall to us. So I think there's a lot of interesting scenarios that go into it. So that's number 4. Now let's hop into the original top 3. And starting off at number 3 is the Lions' defense. Now you're probably like, wow, this is absolutely should not be on the list. You're absolutely right. Probably not. Not after this season. But I'm going to put it on here anyways. The Lions' defense in year 3 could return to the similar status of year 1. Year 1, we finished well. We finished top 10. At the very end of the year, we kind of snuck in there, and we finished well. Year 2, this year, not good. But year 3 could potentially get somewhere around where year 1 was. I'm not even talking top 10. I'm talking top 20, top 25, and we should be fine. This defense doesn't need to be the best defense in the league. We don't need the Patriots defense, okay? Because the difference between us and the Patriots is that it's not like our offense is terrible. No, our offense is actually amazing when Stafford is healthy. It's the defense that has been terrible. So if the defense, and a lot of people want to blame it on injuries, which I'm going to be honest, there's not a lot you can do about it. I think Bob Quinn has done this to himself to a point. I've said this. Not a lot on videos, but I think when you look at some of the players that we brought in, Mike Daniels, I mean, that guy's going to get hurt. You have to understand that that's why he was cut. He's going to get hurt. It's going to happen. Austin Bryant, you knew this dude was hurt before you drafted him. Carry on, even though it's on offense. Injury prone. So, these guys sometimes are going to deal with injuries. So that's one thing that I have to say. You can't count on not being hurt. That's not a strategy. But I will say adding depth is necessary. And, getting another year with all this money, you should be able to add some healthy depth. Not players that are veterans that have been hurt before and you're hoping they're healthy. No, don't do that. Add players that have been healthy or only hurt like once in their career. Not something that's continuing to be an issue. So I think this defense, if they can get top 25, top 20, this is an easy playoff team. This is easily a playoff team. And yes, we're going to deal with injuries. I'm not saying injury-free. But if Stafford is healthy, easily a playoff team. It's not even in question to me. I think this team can make the playoffs with a solid defense. And that's all we need out of you, Matty P. Next up, coming in number 2, is the Lions against the division. Now, this one's a hard argument to make because almost doesn't count, and I don't try to get caught up in almost. But, it's a positive vibe we're trying to put out here, so let's go for it. Lions against the division this year. Well, against every team, they really couldn't finish down the stretch. That was something that Bob Quinn talked about, and we all know it was the case. And they, I had a video called "One Play Away." We were one play away in a lot of games, and I think against the division we were as well. When you look at our games against the Bears, both those games either lost by 7 or by 4. When you look against the Packers, which Packers in this situation are really what I'm looking at. The Vikings, and this one's interesting to me because even the Vikings game, we gave up 42 points, and we were in that thing to the wire. We could not get a single stop. If we could have got like 1 or 2 stops, again, going back to number 3, we probably beat the Vikings. We just couldn't do that. Looking at the division with the Packers, we literally, I'm going to say it, we got robbed in the first game. We know we did. And even if you want to say, okay, well, we didn't finish. Okay, but look how close we were. Second time we play them. This team had something to play for. They were playing for a playoff spot. It was a huge difference between them winning that game and losing that game. We were playing for literally nothing, and we had them. We had them in the bag. Okay, we had the game in the bag. Promise we didn't win, and that could either be Lions tanking or they couldn't finish the game because, well, Matthew Stafford's not there. So as I go in to number 1, I want to say this. The Lions can have a turnaround season because Matthew Stafford returns. But a must the Lions must do and must accomplish this offseason with that top 3 pick, with the money, is make sure you get O-line help, that this doesn't happen again. Try to prevent this. Stafford has dealt with injuries now twice. You can't have him getting hit. You need to get that offensive line help. Patriots have one of the top offensive lines in the league. They win. Now, are they the best offense? No, because, they just don't have a lot of weapons. Brady's getting older. But they have a good offensive line. Us, on the other hand, we don't have a good offensive line. So if we can protect Stafford, get another guard, maybe another tackle, help protect him, get some younger talent around him, and then a veteran backup. We got to go get a veteran backup, y'all. And I think Bob Quinn will. I think that's what they talked when they talked about the press conference. For me, I was getting a vibe that that's what he's looking to do this offseason. Maybe we'll keep a third. I think we'll rock with 3 quarterbacks. Keep a third to be a developmental, whether it's David Blau, Jeff Driscoll, maybe someone completely different out of the draft. And then your backup is a veteran that can come in, that if something happens like this, maybe he can win you a few games. Because look at a lot of these games. We were up. We all know the statistics. We were up in like 12 of our games. We didn't close games out that we could have possibly won. We blew so many leads. If we have a veteran quarterback, maybe he's able to finish those games out. Having a guy like David Blau, no hate to David Blau, but he's the 3rd string and he's young. Having that as your quarterback, he's probably not going to finish off the game very likely. So those are some of the reasons that you should believe that the Lions can turn it around in 2020. Will it happen? I have no idea. Do I hope it happens? Absolutely. Am I 100% confident? Maybe not, but I'm about 90% confident because I'm wacky. There you go. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.